Hi everyone, welcome to the next episode of Conceptual Thinkers Talk Primary Maths Concept with Teacher Ben. So today we will be touching on a P5 paper, so CHIJ SA2 2021, paper 2, question 17. Now this is an interesting question, that's why I decided to actually come out with a video to discuss this. Okay, so let us first interpret the question. So we have Rei and Ning drew lines to form triangles and star. So it's split into two parts. So Rei formed a total of 10 triangle and stars. She drew 48 more lines for stars than triangle. So how many stars did she form? Okay, so next one is Ning drew 14 more triangles than star. Now the number of lines drawn for triangle was the same. Now the key thing is the same number of lines drawn for the star. So the total number of lines drawn was more. So total number was more than 30 but less than 180. So what fraction of the shapes that Lin had drawn were stars? Okay, so this is how we interpret the question, and based on this, right, I noticed that I can use a concept called number times value. Numbers times value. Now some school they actually call it quantity times value or units times value. So the logic and the idea is the same. So let's start to try out for question part A. Usually for number times value, right, I would prefer to actually come up with a table. I feel that it's easier to present. So before we do that, we need to know the number of lines to create a triangle. So we have 1, 2, 3. So this means that for triangle, we're going to draw 3 lines. Then for star will be a bit tricky. Let me use another color. So we have let's start from this point here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're going to have to draw 10 lines to form a star. Okay, so let's come up with the table. So we have a star and triangle. So this is the table that I usually would draw when I do number times value. So this will be the numbers. Then I put a multiplication symbol. So this will be value. So this value will be individual value. Then we have the total. Now in this case, right, I will let the star to have 1 unit of quantity, because this is what they ask us to find, right? Okay, now the total quantity will be 10. So this means that for triangle, it will be 10 minus the quantity of the star. Okay. Now in terms of value, right, we have calculated you need 10 lines to form the star, and you need 3 lines to form the triangle. So if we multiply, I'm going to get 10 units here. So here will be 30. So basically take 10 times 3, then 1 unit times 3. So that will give me 3 units. Okay. So from here, I'm going to continue with the space here. Now there's one more phrase that we haven't used yet, which is the 48 more. Okay, this is based on the star compared to the triangle. So we know that the number of lines for star will be 10 units, because from this table we take the number of star. If we multiply by the number of lines to form 1 star, that will be 10. We will get the total number of lines to form all the stars. Then this must be equal to 30 minus away 3u. Then we have to add in 48 here. Now this will be the number of lines to form all the stars. Now 30 minus away 3u, this will be the number of lines to form all the triangles, but it will not be equal because there will be 48 more lines for the star than the triangle. So in order to make it equal, I have to introduce an additional 48 to the triangle side. Okay, so here let's simplify. So we're going to get 10u is equal to 30 plus 48 will give me 78 minus away 3u. Okay, now from here I can actually shift this 3 minus 3u over. So it becomes 10u plus 3u is equal to 78. So I'm going to have 13u is equal to 78, and 1u will be equal to 78 divided by 13. So I'm going to get 6. So this means that the answer for part A will be 6, because the number of star is actually 1 unit. Now, with this, we need to actually do a check. So we need identify and implement. So let's do a check. Okay, so let me just create a column here called checking. Now, we know that the quantity of the star will be 6, so if I look at star, it will be 6, and the number of lines will be 10, right? So that will give me 60 here. So that will be 60 lines to form all the 6 star. Now, let's look at triangle. Now, triangle, I should take 10 minus away 6, so 10 minus away 6, I will get 4. Now, the number of lines to form one triangle will be 3, so multiply by 3 here. So I'm going to get 12. So if I take 60 minus away 12, I will get 48. So this means that the number of lines will be 48. For a circle will be 48 more than the lines to form all the triangles. So this is how we can inspect and check whether our answer here match to the nature of the story of this question. Okay, so that will be for my part A. So let's continue with my part B. Okay, part B, we do know that there's 14 more triangles. Please take note that the situation for A and B, there are two different stories. So don't combine them or mix up with both of them. So just focus on part B now and ignore your part A. Now we know that Ning drew 14 more triangles than star. Okay, and the interesting part is the number of lines drawn for the triangle will be equal to the number of lines drawn for the star. So the first thing that I will do is I want to see what will be the lines needed to create that 14 triangles. So I take 14 multiply by 3 because one triangle needs 3 lines. So 14 times 3, that will give me 42. Now, so what is this 42 means? So a lot of students would think that, oh, this is because of the 14 extra triangles, right? Than star. But take note of the second sentence. They say that the number of lines to create all the triangles will be equal to the number of lines created for all the stars. Then why it's not the same quantity? It's because one star, right, will be 7 lines more than a triangle. So this is what we call a total difference. Now, how does this total difference created? Is because one star will have 7 lines more than one triangle. So this is what we call the individual difference. Okay, now the reason is why you need to have this extra 42 lines is made out of all these 7 lines. So if I take 42, which is due to the difference of all these 7 lines, I can divide by 7. So this means that I'm going to get 6, and this 6 will represent the number of stars. Okay, now the reason why you need to create additional 14 triangles is because you need to reduce this difference of 7 lines if you compare one star and one triangle. Okay, so from here the total difference, if I divide by the individual difference, this will give me the number of star. And with the number of star, and I do know that there will be 14 more triangles than star, I will take 14 and add with 6, and that will give me 20. So this will give me the number of triangle. Okay, now the question is asking for the fraction, right, of shape that Ning had drawn were stars. So let's come up with our fraction here. Now always remember your numerator represents the subject of the sentence. So the subject of the sentence is the star, so star will be 6. Now denominator represents the total. Now to get the total, I should take the number of star plus the number of triangle. So this will give me 6 over 26. So we can simplify this to 3 over 13 by dividing by 2. Okay, so this will be the answer. Now next, let's check and verify whether the answer makes sense. So let's do some check. Now there's one information you notice that I haven't used yet. That is this line here. The total number of lines drawn was more than 30 but less than 180, right? Now this is very important. So I'm going to check now, see whether does it make sense. Now if you look at number of stars here, it will be 6 times 10. That will give me 60 lines. If you look at the triangle, we have 20 triangles, so 20 times 3 I'm going to get 60 here. So if I take 60 plus 60, the total number of lines that will be needed to create all the shapes will be 120 lines. So this 120 lines, right, will be within this 30, will be more than 30 and less than 180. So this means that, yeah, my answer actually makes sense. Okay, so this is the way that you inspect this question, and also do take note that you actually read the question carefully. Don't answer the question wrongly, and please ensure that you didn't make any transfer error and careless mistake in terms of calculation. Okay, so with this, it comes to the end of the video. Don't forget to follow us on our YouTube channel, Conceptual Thinkers, and follow us on our Facebook, Conceptual Thinkers Mathematics and English Hub. So if you have any other question, feel free to drop in the comments box below and we will get back to you. Okay, so that's all for today's video. I will see you in the next video. Bye.